I want to start with a question I have been sitting with for a while now. How many people actually live their life fearlessly? Don't waste your time thinking about that answer because probably each one of us is afraid of one thing or another. Whether it is about losing money, losing a job, losing a relationship, the so called love of our life, or losing anything which we are too attached to. The fact is, people disappoint. Things go away. Time changes. Luck changes. But what is the constant in this whole mess? It is you and your fear. You do know that nothing is yours. It is just your time to have that thing or to be with that person. Fear is also an emotion, just like sadness, happiness, being angry. But this fear gets so deep rooted inside us that it becomes a state of mind. A state of mind that cannot easily be changed. If we look closely, every action of ours is derived from fear. We work hard because we have a fear of losing our job. We start putting in a lot of effort even when the other person does not care because we fear that if that person is gone, we might never find anyone else good again. I wrote those words some time ago in a single sitting, the way ideas sometimes arrive almost fully formed. Rereading it now, I notice how much of it was really about attachment more than fear itself. Even though fear was the word doing most of the work on the page, fear rarely shows up announcing itself honestly. It usually arrives wearing some other name: responsibility, loyalty, practicality, and it is only much later, looking back, that the actual shape underneath becomes visible. Now, look at these scenarios in a different way by removing fear. What if, at your job, you just do the bare minimum of what you are asked for and not do the stuff for which you are not even getting paid? What is the worst that could happen? Do not trade your precious time for something you are not even getting paid for. Use that time to work on yourself. Start making something. Start a side hustle. Things work out eventually. Do not be afraid. Live. The second scenario is putting in effort for someone who does not even care. Stop with your whining. You are not weak. Do not give out your life keys to someone else just like that. You will find that someone who actually cares about you just the way you do. You deserve to be the poetry in someone else's poem. Get out of that relationship which drains the life out of you. You deserve better. Our lives are our own responsibility. Do not waste it in being fearful. I know it will be hard to change, but you need to take that one tiny step of saying no to your fears inside your mind to start a blissful journey. I did not write the story about Aryan on the same day as the rest of it. It came later. The story I am going to tell you. That story came almost as an answer to something the first piece had left unresolved. There was a boy named Aryan, 7 years old, who was terrified of the dark. Not just the dark of the room, but the dark of not knowing. Every night before sleep, he would pull his grandmother's sari and ask the same question: Dadi, what happens tomorrow? Will everything be okay? And every night she would smile, that slow ancient smile, and say nothing. One monsoon evening, she took him to the river behind their village. The river was swollen, loud, almost angry. Does the river know where it is going? She asked. He looked at the rushing water. No, he said slowly. Does it stop flowing because of that? No, he whispered. She knelt beside him, her old knees in the wet mud, and looked him in the eyes. Aryan, the river does not fear the ocean it has never seen. It simply flows, trusting that it was made to arrive somewhere beautiful. He did not fully understand it then, but years later, when he stood at 23, having lost his father, having failed his exams, having watched his whole planned life dissolve like sugar in rain, he remembered that river. He remembered it did not stop, and something in his chest loosened. I think about Aryan at 23 sometimes, more than I probably should for a character I invented myself. I do not know if I fully believe the way he seems to by the end that everything is made to arrive somewhere beautiful. Some days that feels true. Other days it feels like something I want to be true more than something I actually know. I don't even remember if this story was inspired by something I read long before or it just came to me. But the fact is, it doesn't matter. What I keep coming back to, rereading both pieces together now, is that neither of them actually removes fear. Neither was ever supposed to. What both pieces seem to be reaching for instead is something smaller and more honest than removing fear entirely. Just enough trust to keep moving anyway. The way the river keeps moving without ever having seen the ocean it is apparently built for. So, my friend, live. Just live.